Who do you think has legitimately lost their mind? Of course I know him. He's me. I came here to say this, but it was already said. So I guess I just came. Conor McGregor, shell of his former self. More cocaine than man these days. Coke is overrated. Super expensive for what? 15 to 30 minutes and you have to redo? Destroyed nasal passages and a deviated septum after a habit? Overrated sinkhole powdered Moorish bullshit. Like you a classified spam said, the price-to-performance ratio is ridiculous. He's being generous with that last word. Should be dog's hit. You tell that to Conor McGregor. You tell him. Yeah, he's out of his tree. Too many head kicks. Yeah, repeated traumatic brain injuries plus Scarface levels of cocaine consumption have definitely taken their toll. Kanye, right? I mean, he started off as I'm a black guy who does rap music, and then he became I'm God. Trump is right. I can piss gold from my dick and I'm going to ruin the economy by making gold bars by taking violent shits into molds. Seriously, he went from rapper to nutcase within about a year or two. He is bipolar, and does not medicate, and also is surrounded by people who enable him. It's not an excuse, but when someone in a bipolar episode says they met Jesus and he told them they were God, that isn't metaphorical, or like a dream or something. It's full-on delusion, sometimes with accompanying hallucinations. When he got on the air with Alex Jones or Tim Pool, make no mistake that they were knowingly exploiting someone in a mental health crisis. Kanye also has the alleged nitrous addiction. Ezra Miller. Seriously off his meds for a while and will likely be blacklisted in Hollywood. Someone said that he is like if Tumblr invented a terrorist, and I think about it often. Funny but sadly true. He needs help desperately. Terrence Howard. I was looking for this one. His mathematical proof is literally just him not understanding what multiplication is. The amount of fucking people who I knew from my past who shared him talking about physics with Joe Rogan a few weeks ago is truly terrifying. And if you point out that he's talking literal gibberish about shit that has been disproven in some cases, you get called closed-minded and told you need to be more of a free thinker. Social media was a mistake. Social media was a mistake. Sad agree. Bam Margera. I feel his addiction is past the point of no return. Yes. He's like that old friend from high school that everyone loves, but if you got a call saying they died you would honestly think makes sense. I had to stop following him, for my own reasons, he just bummed me out, man. Seeing him basically beg for money, then drive around in a luxury SUV with a six-pack of Stella in the front seat was over the line. I mean, he crossed many lines, but that was the one that made me just think he was pathetic. Very sad that he's an addict, but it's compounded by his selfish and immature outlook on life. William Butcher. Fucking diabolical. OUE. Did Homelandu kill your wife and take your bloody son? I don't think so, so you can't really talk. Jared Leto. He's a part of some type of cult he created. The Morbius cult. World of t-shirts on TikTok. He started making funny dancing random videos on the streets of NYC. Then he started drinking a little and people kept telling him to drink more. Now almost every video he posts, 7 to 8 a day, is him drinking absurd amounts of alcohol in public. There's videos of him freaking out in public and shaking from alcohol withdrawal. Have you seen his skin the past few days? Also getting blackout drunk for like 500 days straight is insane as fuck. My wife. I haven't seen her in a month. I have no idea what's going on. I'm sorry, that sounds very concerning. A month? Have you filed a missing persons report? She is in contact with her mother. So she's definitely alive. Elon Musk. TBH. People should have known as soon as he called the cave diver a pedophile. Anyone who still liked him after that is weird as hell. His recent interview where he suggested his child is dead because she is trans made me realize how absolutely bonkers he has gotten. It was so awkward. Azalia Banks. She's still releasing music today, but she basically burned her bridges with her erratic and honestly vile behavior. Not to mention how she was evicted and then went on IG Live showing video of inside her apartment. She is a practitioner of Santeria, if I recall correctly, and she sacrifices animals. Her whole apartment was covered in like blood and dead chickens. Amanda Bynes sadly. It's more than childhood trauma or drugs. She has major mental health issues. I hope she gets the right help. Pretty much all of those child stars from that era were raped or molested by adults in showbiz. It's a miracle they aren't more fucked up than they are. Donald. Like genuinely. I used to think it was calculated for the sake of stirring up anger in his followers, but after seeing him babble unintelligibly at countless rallies, I've changed my mind. My grandpa sounded just like him when he had dementia. Robert F. Kennedy dumped a dead bear cub in Central Park, maybe ate a dog, and had some brain worms. He also is an anti-vax loon, so I say RFK Jr. I'm probably getting close. I'm gonna be talking to my counselor about a psych evaluation cause. Some of the symptoms I'm having are auditory hallucinations. Gabby Hanna. She's this influencer who seems like she's genuinely bipolar, maybe on psychedelics, or something. Granted, I think she really plays up her cringe mania in order to get views. Pretty worried for Katy Perry at the moment. Seems like she might be getting some bad advice. Whoever told her to start of her Woman's World video with "If Rosie the Riveter was on OF Girl needs a timeout." That video was just fucking weird. Rudy Giuliani went from amazing leadership after the 9th of November to arranging press conferences at Four Seasons Landscaping, losing his law license and declaring bankruptcy. Terrence Howard. Not being in Iron Man 2 seems to have broken him. Most of the world, honestly. We have collectively done a shit job of managing our emotions since the pandemic. Alex Jones has been for a while now. Hard to tell where the scam ends and where the mental illness begins. J.K. Rowling. She could have retired into obscurity and her great-grandkids would still never have to work a day in their life from HP residuals, but instead she just wants to waste more and more time on social media shitting on folks. Really, any Scientologist has to be a mental case. Their suppressive person protocol is truly group mental illness, and that's the only crazy we see in public. Imagine what goes on behind their fences. Gypsy Rose, she is not normal. She has actually lost her mind, like really. WTH, I got 1k likes, I wasn't expecting. Surprised I haven't seen anyone mention Nicki Minaj. She's been going crazy recently. She's been doing this for a very long time, but it gets worse every day. At the beginning of her career, she didn't really start anything, but the longer she stays in the industry, the more crazy her drama gets over time. You'll see her beef with Meghan recently. And she was on it for weeks after. Antonio Brown. The unupdated list. For those of you unfamiliar with the NFL, NFL has been keeping track of this guy's antics. This is the list. Kicked out of Florida International University after fighting a security guard. Don't touch me. I'm the franchise. His second year in the league, he took a personal stretch limo to a charity event, had them open every single expensive bottle of wine, rejected it. Refused to pay for it, charity, remember, then left. Credit Ndugu 77. Threw fits over not getting enough targets. Drove 100 down McKnight Road in Pittsburgh, which has a 45 miles per hour speed limit. Trashed a condo and threw furniture out a window, 14th floor window, which almost hit some people, notably a child. Killed a home aquarium full of piranhas and refused to pay the man who installed the tank. Refused to play Week 17 for the Steelers. Dyed his mustache blonde. Refused to pay a chef because he thought he threatened him by placing a fish head in the freezer. The fish head was saved to make a soup. Farted on a doctor. Demanded a trade from the Steelers. Became Mr. Big Chest. Threw a fit over Juju winning team MVP and trashed him on social media. Allegedly, nixed a trade that would have sent him to the Bills. Showed up to Raiders training camp in a hot air balloon. Held out and refused to show up to training camp because the NFL would not approve his helmet because it was too old for their safety standards. Froze his feet. Tried to paint over his old helmet, hoping no one would notice, I guess. Acquired a newer version of the same model of helmet, which the NFL refused to let him use. Picked out a new helmet and finally showed up to the Raiders. Got fined by the Raiders for not attending camp. Tweeted the fines. Tried to fight Mike Meck, called him a cracker, had to be held back by Vontaze Burfict, then punted a football down the practice field and said fine me for that. Got fined for that. Released a video where he used audio of John Gruden, who didn't know he was being recorded, which is illegal in California. Full disclosure, Gruden has said he gave permission, but the generally accepted theory is that he said that in the hope that it would help get him to show up to the facility and not alienate him. Demanded a release from the Raiders. Was released. Grandma, I'm free. Fly like a free. Made a lot of crazy tweets saying stuff like "the devil is a lie," a proverb about burning down a village. He made a lot of crazy tweets around this time is the point here. Like to tweet about Meg getting raped in the ass. Signed with the Patriots. Moved in with Tom Brady. The sexual assault allegations came out, the one where he's getting sued. The sexual harassment allegations came out, the one where he's not getting sued. Threatened a woman not suing him in a group text that included his lawyer and had a picture of her kids in the text. Got released by the Patriots after 1 week. Went off on a tweet storm and said a lot of crazy shit about a lot of people, and was supportive of people sending threats to the writer of the article detailing the sexual harassment allegations. Said he was done with the NFL. Went back to college via online classes. Tried to outsource his homework to Twitter. Wants to come back to the NFL. File several grievances to try and get more than $40 million from the Raiders and Patriots. Was ordered to show up for a deposition regarding trashing the condo. Was accused of reprehensible behavior during the deposition. Note, I cut the specifics about the deposition so I could fit this as a single comment. You can read more about it here if you're interested, because it, like everything else, is nuts. Said that the Patriots have to pay him anyway, so they might as well let him play. Tweeted a couple of bizarre tweets about the Raiders using him for HBO ratings and the Patriots trying to steal his stuff, and kept using this weird chicken-based metaphor. Tried out for the Saints and brought an entourage and film crew to shoot a music video with him when specifically told not to do that. Called out Robert Kraft for his rub and tug massage session in Florida. Starting training for a boxing match with Logan Paul. Tweeted "No more white woman 2020. The attorney representing him in the suit involving the condo quit. Used a bunch of slurs and profane language towards cops in an Instagram video he posted. A police youth football league cut ties with him and returned a donation after the release of the video, saying there was an irreparable rift between the department and AB. Threw a bag of gummy candy dicks at the cops in a video he posted. Got dropped by his agent. Was involved in a dispute with movers at his home where he allegedly threw rocks at the movers and moving vans. He is currently being investigated for battery by the police. His trainer was arrested and he is still a suspect in the battery case. Warrant issued for the arrest of AB. AB turns himself into Broward County Jail wearing this suit. Rumors spread about AB signing with Tampa or Seattle. AB announces his retirement, for what I believe is the third time. It's hard to find a good record of the rest of them. 2 days later, AB wants to play again and is asking for the league to wrap up its investigation. The NFL announces an 8-game suspension for AB. AB signs with the Buccaneers on a 1-year deal. Before he signed with the Buccaneers, AB was accused of destroying a surveillance camera at a Florida gated community, throwing bike at a security guard shack, and is not charged because HOA president feared retaliation, per police report. AB is under investigation by the NFL for the bike throwing incident. Allegedly acquired fake COVID-19 card. Confirmed to have acquired a fake COVID-19 card and subsequently suspended for 3 games. Removed jersey and pads and threw them in the stands before exiting the games versus the Jets. I love the fact that dyed his mustache blonde made it onto this list alongside everything else. Our entire country. Except for me, I'm totally sane. The sheer volume of people who think the earth is flat on social media is terrifying. Terrence Howard. If you don't know him, look him up. The dude is totally insane. Also, the CEO of Scentbird, Maria Nuraslamova. Thinks you can cure cancer in 7 days with positive thinking.